Justin Fields has been spectacular the past 2 years with Ohio State, but with him more than likely headed to the NFL this upcoming spring, I was wondering about who would be their next quarterback. I hear all the time that CJ Stroud is supposed to be the next man up, but what about their other three options, and does Jack Miller have a legit shot at winning the job? Today we will talk about Ohio State's quarterback room, briefly meet all the candidates, and we will settle on who has the best chance to be the next star quarterback for the Buckeyes. First, if you love college football, please be sure to subscribe, give the video a like, suggest another video topic I should do next, and stay until the end. If you enjoy this kind of topic, be sure to give it a like and let me know so I can do more videos like this. And now let's get started. Let's quickly discuss the player that everyone seems to think will win the job, CJ Stroud. He had a very tough upbringing in California, but that did not stop him from balling out on the high school field. He threw for 6,221 yards during his junior and senior year, and during his senior year, he actually threw for 3,878 yards and 47 touchdowns in only 13 games, as he would lead his team all the way to the state semifinals. He performed really well in camps and became a 5-star recruit. Scouts compared Stroud to Teddy Bridgewater during the recruiting process, and he wound up committing to Ohio State over Georgia, Michigan, and Baylor, and a ton of other high-caliber programs. 24/7 Sports listed him as a high 4-star recruit, the number 2 pro-style quarterback, and the 42nd best player in the class of 2020. He came into 2020 as the backup to Fields, and in a game against Michigan State, he actually went for a 48-yard rushing touchdown, showing his potential as a player and giving Ohio State fans a glimpse of the future. Stroud had this to say: "I'm just going to go in there and work, put my head down, and just work. When I look up, I want to be on the top. But I'm just going to let God handle it, and I'm not worried about anything." He has a very inspiring story, and if you want to hear his entire story, check out my friend Jonathan's video about his rise, and I'll leave a link down in the comment section for you to check that out. I'll definitely cover his story in the future, but for now, please be sure to check out his video and hear the really inspiring story of CJ Stroud. A lot of people think he will be the automatic starter for the Buckeyes this upcoming fall, but what about the other 3 candidates they have? Well, let's first start with the other quarterback they brought in the 2020 class, Jack Miller. Jack Miller was born and raised in Arizona, and he actually got an offer from Ohio State as a freshman in high school. You could say his career fell off by the time he was a senior, as he wasn't a 5-star recruit or even a top 100 recruit. He committed to Ohio State and never wavered that, despite them also signing CJ Stroud and basically telling him that they're going to get another guy for him. When he did commit, he was a top 50 player though, and was seen as one of those guys who could become a 5-star prospect, but for some reason, he fell off. Looking deeper into it, it was because he suffered 2 injuries in his last 2 years of high school at key moments. First, it was a torn MCL and a separated shoulder during his last 2 years of high school, and at the Elite 11 quarterback camp, he ended up messing up his back, and he said it messed up a lot of his throwing motion, and it made him not perform as well as he would have liked. According to 24/7 Sports, Miller was a low 4-star recruit, the number 13 pro-style quarterback, and the 334th best player in the class of 2020. This is what Jack had to say about the idea of Ohio State bringing in another quarterback in their 2020 recruiting cycle. Quote, "They told me they're going to probably offer somebody else and take somebody else. And I told them, take whoever you want, I'll beat them out. I'm not worried. I love competition, I love competing. That's really what I thrive off of, that type of setting. So I'm excited to get up there." It was never a question whether I was going to go to a different school. When Urban Meyer visited Scottsdale, Arizona, he actually stayed in Jack's father's hotel, and he thought that showed a lot of loyalty to him, and he was impressed by Ohio State because of that. Ryan Day is also very high on Miller, and as everybody basically knows, a coach is supposed to get the most out of their players, and that includes recruiting players that are constantly better than the ones they already have, or at least they think will be better than the ones they already have. This is what Day had to say about Jack. Quote, "Jack is somebody that's been committed all along. He was loyal from the get-go, and I watched him throw when he was 16 years old, and I saw something in him, and he never wavered either. I think he's got a chance to be a really good player for Ohio State." At 6'4" and 215 pounds with a really proven passing ability, he threw for 9,440 yards and 115 touchdowns in his career, and he brings both a strong arm, competitive drive, and natural athleticism. Oh yeah, and he also played golf, and briefly considered trying to play the green at a high level too, but he said he is glad he chose football. Jack said, quote, "I played like every day one summer and got pretty good, but I'm glad I picked football. Golf was pretty fun, but I like the team sport aspect, and to be honest, I like getting hit, and I like feeling accomplished every once in a while hitting people. I've always loved it." I personally think that the quarterback battle will come down to Miller and Stroud, and no matter who wins, the Buckeyes will be in great hands. Stroud had this to say: "I think we're both here for the same goal. We want to win a national championship here, and that's going to be the goal, whatever it takes. We're both just going to work our tails off and do whatever we can for the team." So those are my 2 favorite options, but there's still 2 other guys, and let's start with the least likely option in Gunnar Hoak. Gunnar was a highly touted prospect whose whole family actually played at Ohio State, and Gunnar grew up a big Buckeye fan, but he ended up taking his talents to Kentucky. He wound up transferring to Ohio State when Ryan Day was the head coach, and at one point, some people thought he could play, but Fields was always going to be the long-term option, and Gunnar never really had a chance. He has since taken over as a backup, and I think there is a slim chance he is a starter this fall, but stranger things have happened. He's a graduate guy, and you'll probably just be there to mentor all the young quarterbacks. So who is the last option and the most intriguing one? Well, he is another blue-chip recruit who could end up winning the job if he impresses enough. Kyle McCord was an East Coast quarterback star who played for St. Joseph's Prep in Pennsylvania, and he emerged as one of the top quarterbacks in the 2021 recruiting cycle from the very beginning. He put up electric numbers in his first 3 years of high school, but his team only played in 2 games his senior year due to COVID-19, and I think that could potentially set him back in terms of winning the job. There's no doubt that the talent is there, and he's considered a 5-star prospect, the number 3 pro-style quarterback, and the 25th best player in the class of 2021, so he has all the tools in the world, and he said he's super pumped for the opportunity to compete. He said, quote, "Assuming Justin leaves, having a chance to compete for the job early on is pretty special. There's not too many schools of Ohio State's caliber that have that kind of opportunity sitting ahead of them this offseason. That's something that's extremely attractive to me. I think McCord will be a great player in time, but I think because of his high school season and the experience factor with both Miller and Stroud, I think he'll end up redshirting in 2021, and it'll come down to the other 2 guys. Personally, I will give the nod to CJ Stroud for week 1, but I truly do believe that Jack Miller will push for the starting job, and he could very well win it, and we could see him be the starter by the end of the year. But we can't just rule out Kyle McCord just yet. Ryan Day said, quote, "That is going to happen. Kyle McCord is going to compete for the job. We have to figure it out if Justin goes to the NFL, who the next quarterback will be at Ohio State, and that's a big deal. I know he's looking forward to getting in there and competing right away." Since neither Jack Miller or CJ Stroud really got a lot of time, and because of the pandemic last year they didn't get to do spring practice, McCord will have the opportunity to make it a close race, and I think actually all 3 will have a chance. At the end of the day, I do think it'll come down to Stroud and Miller because they've been in Ryan Day's system for an extra year, and McCord didn't play a whole lot last year in high school football, but all 3 have a chance, and if McCord has the kind of talent that recruiting services think, he could definitely push for the job and make a high impression on Ryan Day. I think this could be a absolutely fascinating spring practice and quarterback battle. Don't let that recruiting differential distract you from the fact that Jack is a star player who's driven, works hard, wants to compete, and he was also once considered to be right up there with Stroud, so we should not doubt that kid. I'm excited to watch this battle play out, and let's see what happens. What do you guys think, and who do you think will win the job? If you're an Ohio State fan, please let me know your thoughts on the quarterback room and who you think will win. If you want me to do more videos like this, please be sure to show your support and give it a like and suggest another topic like this. And before you go, like, subscribe, and check out my video about what happened to Dwayne Haskins. I hope to see you guys again soon, but until next time, peace.